Who doesn't love a good thriller movie? I personally am a huge fan of thrillers. I love the twists and turns that the movies have and then the unexpected endings. They are by far my favorite genre of movies. And one thing that I love about them is trying to solve the story myself before the ending of the movie. Who else does that? Let me know in the comments below. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Scary Videos. I am your host for today, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 5 most chilling thrillers in horror history. Now, obviously there are tons of amazing thrillers out there, and it was super hard for me to choose. Honestly, I had a bunch that I wish that I could put on this list. So at the end of the video, I'll be shouting out some of the honorable mentions because there are just so many that also deserve to be recognized. At the top of my list, at number 5, we have The Invisible Guest. The Invisible Guest is a 2016 Spanish film directed by Oriol Paulo. Now, I saw this movie a couple years ago and it left me in shock. A lot of people haven't really seen this movie, it's so underrated, but it's definitely one that you need to add to your watch list and you will not be disappointed. And although it's in a different language and I had to watch it with subtitles on, it does not distract from the movie at all. It's just so well done and creative. Alright, so this movie is about a man named Adrian Doria who was convicted of murdering his lover. He argues that he was knocked unconscious by attackers in his hotel room, and when he woke up, he found his lover dead. However, police believe that he was the one who committed the crime since the room's door was locked from the inside and the windows of the room were locked and the handles were removed from the windows because it was winter. As a result, Adrian has 3 hours to work with Virginia Goodman, his defense attorney, to figure out the truth of what happened and clear his name. Oh man, this movie is a mind bender. During this movie, it really makes the audience question who they can really trust. It manipulates the viewer's mind to believe one thing and then it changes right in front of your eyes. Basically, this film progresses with Adrian and his lawyer discussing the events that led up to the woman's death, intercut with flashbacks that reveal what appears to have happened. It is overall really well written, has a great storyline, and makes the audience question who's telling the truth. It is filled with plot twists and the ending will for sure leave you shocked. Moving on to number 4, we have Shutter Island. The 2010 film Shutter Island, directed by Martin Scorsese, is a psychological thriller starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Teddy Daniels, a US Marshal. Teddy, alongside his partner Chuck Aole, played by the Hulk Mark Ruffalo, are sent to Shutter Island to investigate the disappearance of a missing patient from a mental institution of the criminally insane. Upon their investigation, Teddy discovers that the island has more secrets than he thought, and there is something more sinister going on. Teddy believes that the migraines and visions that he has been experiencing during his stay are a result of him being poisoned. He then starts to seep deeper into his own insanity as the movie progresses. Shutter Island is another film that leaves the audiences not knowing what the outcome will be, or again, who we can even trust. There's also so much symbolism thrown throughout it that when you watch it over, you'll catch more and more hidden details. I personally love movies like that. And again, this is another movie with an amazing plot twist ending that no one was expecting. In our third spot, we have Seven. Seven is a 1995 David Fincher film starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman as two detectives. Brad Pitt is a detective new to the city, whereas Morgan Freeman is on the brink of retirement. Now, this whole movie is about a serial killer that murders people in disgusting ways based on the 7 deadly sins. As a result, these two detectives have to work together to catch this killer. I think that it's a great storyline. It's original and it's quite creepy. Let me describe some of the scenes in the movie that just make you feel very unsettled and creeped out. The detectives arrive at one scene and find a man that was forced to eat until his stomach burst. This was to represent the sin gluttony. Then you also have the lawyer that had to cut flesh from himself, and that represented the sin greed. The list continues with each victim of the sin suffering worse than the one before, and the suspense heightens as the victim count increases. Now, this film definitely has more horrifying and gory moments than the previous mentioned films, but that's a reason why it makes this movie such a great thriller. And for the final 2 sins, envy and wrath, whew, that is when the movie takes a dramatic turn and leaves the audiences shocked. I feel like I'm saying that for everything. All these movies will leave you shocked, trust me. Next up on my list at number 2, I have Memento. This 2000 film is written and directed by Christopher Nolan and stars Guy Pearce as Leonard Shelby, an insurance investigator that now suffers from anterograde amnesia. Basically, he lacks the ability to form new memories, and as a result, he is driven by the memories of his past. Specifically, the memory of his wife being killed by an attacker. Therefore, throughout this movie, he is dead set on finding his wife's attacker and killing them. Now, this movie is more on the confusing side. It operates on two different timelines, characterized by different colors. The black and white scenes are shown in chronological order, whereas the color sequences are shown in reverse order, and the movie cuts back and forth between these two sequences until finally they meet and the ending is revealed. Now, since he suffers from this amnesia, he operates by leaving himself detailed notes, getting tattoos of key pieces of evidence, and by taking Polaroid pictures. These are all tools that he uses to try and find his wife's murderer. Now, I think what makes this film so effective is having the story be shown out of sequence. It leaves the audience confused and misled, just like how the main character is. It honestly makes the audience feel like they don't know what's going to happen next, or who to trust, or even who to believe. Seriously, I need to watch this movie again because I still have questions and I still don't know who is telling the truth. What I also like about this movie is the misleading clues and facts. In turn, it makes the ending that much more dramatic. This film also does a great job at distorting reality and makes the audience experience a skewed perception of reality and a level of manipulation, just like what Leonard Shelby experiences himself. And coming in at number 1, we have The Silence of the Lambs. Of course I had to have Silence of the Lambs on my list. Silence of the Lambs is a 1991 mystery thriller starring Jodie Foster as a young FBI trainee Clarice, and Anthony Hopkins as Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a cannibal, serial killer, and psychiatrist. Clarice uses Hannibal's help to try and track down a serial killer named Buffalo Bill. Considering Clarice is still in training, she is thrust into a variety of new, unfamiliar, and dangerous situations, and we as the audience are along for the ride. Throughout the movie, you can see how Hannibal can manipulate others and gets into their minds. This movie was extremely well done, from Anthony Hopkins' terrifying and amazing performance to the incredible camera work. This movie just has it all. So let's start off by talking about Anthony Hopkins' performance as Hannibal Lecter. I think one of the reasons why this movie is so well done and highly regarded is from Anthony Hopkins' chilling portrayal of Hannibal Lecter. The subtle nuances that he brings to the character just make him that much more creepy. From his soul-sucking eyes to his creepy smirks, this character makes you feel super uneasy. I think what's so powerful is the calm demeanor of Hannibal Lecter. He honestly makes the film that much more unsettling, and this emphasizes how easily he can get into the other characters' minds, as well as the audience's mind. In fact, Anthony Hopkins won an Oscar for Best Actor in this film, however his total appearance on the screen was around 16 minutes, and that's how powerful his performance was. I also love the creepy introduction of Hannibal. Clarice walks down a corridor filled with the most dangerous inmates. Each cell that she passes, the people inside get more crazy and animalistic and less human until we get to Dr. Hannibal Lecter, who stands there looking very poised. It's terribly bone-chilling. Symbolically, you can see that going down the hallway, the people in there get progressively less and less human, until you reach Hannibal Lecter, so he's supposedly the most inhuman. To him, he regards himself as more evolved though, whereas the others are just swine compared to him. Next, we have the camera shots that are a POV style when addressing Hannibal. This makes it feel like he's staring directly into your soul and adds a layer of creepiness to the film. This film definitely leaves you feeling slightly unsettled after watching it. And in one scene when Clarice is opening up to Hannibal, we can see the camera pull closer and closer into Clarice, as if he's getting deeper and deeper into her mind. Seriously, the camera work and thought put into this film, it's incredible. Alright everyone, that's all I have for you today. Now let's move on to some of the honorable mentions. We have Gone Girl starring Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike, another really well done psychological thriller. We also have Zodiac, based on the real life story of the Zodiac Killer. Then we have Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf, honestly probably one of my fave thrillers. Panic Room with young Kristen Stewart and Jodie Foster, and The Usual Suspects, total classic. Let me know some of your favorite thrillers down below. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Top 5 and click that bell icon to get notified every time that we post a video so you don't miss out. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan. See you in my next video. I also love the creepy introduction of Hannibal. Clarice walks down a corridor filmed with Clarice walks down a corridor, oh my gosh. Clarice walks down a corridor filmed with the most filmed. Oh my gosh, why am I saying filmed? It's because we're filming right now. Oh, press. Oh, no. Okay. Wait, what? Yes, okay.